As educators, we're the expert in the classroom. We know what is best for our students, we've been trained to know what is best to our students, and we know the material better than our students do. And yet our students, they want what is easiest. They don't necessarily want what is best. As educators, it is our responsibility to make sure we keep our course rigorous. There may be times that you'll have a class of struggling students and you'll think, why would I want to increase the rigor when my students are already struggling? But the truth of it is, increasing the rigor, especially as you provide support, can make a profound difference in how well your students will perform. I've been teaching the same class for about 5 years now, and every semester I make my class a little more rigorous. Now, I'm not just making the class harder for the sake of being harder. I am continually revising assignments, revising expectations, and holding my students to a higher and higher caliber. And much to my surprise, my students are keeping up with it. 5 years ago, I never would have thought that making a course more rigorous would result in better grades. But once I discarded the expectation of my students will do the best they can, and I've changed it instead to my students will do the work that they're capable of doing no matter how hard it is, the better work I've gotten from them. In the book, You're Not So Smart by David McRaney, he talks about how students will always choose the easiest path, especially when it comes to procrastination. He mentioned a specific study where a teacher had 3 classrooms. In one classroom, the students were allowed to select the assignment deadlines. In another, they had assignments due all at once, but only at the end of the semester. And in the third class, the teacher had his own self-imposed deadlines. The students did the best in the class where he set the deadlines himself. When students are allowed to procrastinate, when they're allowed to take the easier path, they will always do so. As the educator, like I said, you're the expert. So it's up to you to hold the line, to expect high quality from your students, to hold them to a high standard. But most importantly, you also have to provide support. You can't just make it harder for the sake of being harder. You can make it harder, but you have to be willing to help them meet that. And whatever the expectation is, if you provide the means for them to do it, your students will surprise you. They'll be able to do it.